Condolence.
Condolence.
A condolence call.
Just a letter of condolence to the widow of the ambassador to Brazil.
Oh, Mr. Worthing, I offer my sincere condolence.
Shouldn't you answer those letters of condolence?
The condolence thing.
哀悼
Condom.
Condom.
Do you wear a condom? I am just so happy to be out of that condom stage of life.
I had sex with this guy, and we couldn't find the condom.
So we used a condom, Cara.
You didn't have a condom, and I never have sex with that one, especially on a one-night thing.
避孕套
Condominium.
Condominium.
Johnny and I were investing in a condominium complex in Venice.
I'm gonna live in a condominium.
It's a river condominium.
My grandmother lives in a condominium.
No lab, no facilities, just performing miracles in a condominium?
共同统治
Condone.
Condone.
Although the United States did not condone the excesses of the Herrera regime, they were non-antagonistic toward the U.S.
How can you condone behavior that's so blatantly illegal?
Now, you all know I don't condone this cheer-on-cheer violence, and this feud is far from over.
The court would have to recognize the police officer's legitimate concern for the girl's life, but there is no way they can possibly condone police torture.
We don't condone gawking at each other's genitals.
射
Condor.
Condor.
County DA Gerald Fitzroy announced this morning that San Francisco Condor star Joe Campbell has been arrested for rape.
Hello, Condor. I was careless with Condor.
I'm the managing editor of the Condor, and I've been told I have a low threshold for stupidity.
3 days of the condom.
神鹰
Conduce.
Conduce.
And as a high moral tone can hardly be said to conduce very much to either one's health or one's happiness. In order to get up to town, I have always pretended to have a younger brother of the name of Ernest.
Conducive to tranquil deliberation, dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum, and tend to bring his racing clothes.
E quella porta dove conduce?
You're still driving the 89 Chevy Monte Carlos?
The reasons you allege do more conduce to the hot passion of distempered blood than to make up a free determination twixt right and wrong.
有助于
Conducive.
Conducive.
It is not conducive to traffic flow on Route 80 or to public safety.
Not a policy very conducive to the fostering of esprit de corps.
Perhaps if you did have children, then you would behave in a manner that is more conducive to the longevity of this habitat.
The lights, cameras, audience, conditions here are hardly conducive.
This is supposed to be conducive to great work?
有益于的
Conduct.
Conduct.
Whole violation and sportsmanlike conduct.
I intend to conduct a thorough inquiry into this matter.
I want you to know that whenever the king questioned your conduct, I tried, in your interest.
I'm simply a customer trying to conduct a transaction.
行为为人领导
Conduction.
Conduction.
I know that with a big move in conduction with a woman's naturally fluctuating hormones, it can leave your skin a wreck.
Strange. Someone wired this with organic superconduction memes.
Most powerful neurotoxin in the world acts within a 2,000th of a second, which is faster than the nerve conduction velocity.
This grass spider hunts using a set of reflexes with nerve conduction velocity so fast.
When I say that we are not satisfactory as to the conduction of the SEEK program by the individual choice by yourself, sir.
传导
Conductive.
Conductive.
Do you have sensory neural hearing loss or do you have conductive?
If you were in a conductive field, a boost from the mother box could bring him back to life.
Mrs. Marin, you said the explosives were highly conductive.
Sam is working in conductive polymers.
The liquid is an electrically conductive jelly of my own device.
传导性的
Conductor.
Conductor.
As a conductor, Tar began her career with the Cleveland Orchestra, one of the so-called Big Five.
I've been playing hide and seek with the Pullman conductor ever since the train left New York.
So, if her intent is vague, how do you, as a conductor, have a point of view about anything?
So we just made it up, and we kept playing and playing, and the conductor didn't know what we were doing, and it was so funny.
This ring houses the impulse conductor circuit, sir.
领导者
Conduit.
Conduit.
Electrical conduit. Should have been conduit.
It's a universal conduit.
It's like a conduit through which the Lord speaks to us.
This conduit runs almost to the uplink assembly.
导管
Cone.
Cone.
And I'd be in my cone, and it's... Do you want to stay at the cozy cone or what?
Huh? I do not like the cone of shame.
She compared Trisha Nixon to a vanilla ice cream cone.
Then the twig runners dash back and forth until the pine cone burns out and the umpire calls hotbox.
圆锥体使成锥形
Confection.
Confection.
Entire confection. Her sweat and blood went into this cake, and you will not leave this platform until you have consumed the entire confection.
I feel sure you will agree they are a royal confection.
Our great breakthrough since last summer has been the confection of a certain Vitus Omega.
Pleasant confection to be enjoyed by the entire family.
糖果
Confectioner.
Confectioner.
I'll have you know the confectioner gave me back every cent for those chocolate-covered peanuts.
Well, can't be much of a confectioner if he didn't do vanilla slices.
There's a new confectioner in town.
Yes, a lovely spot for a girl's Confederate brother when father's going to tan his hide.
You see, it started with this confectioner called Archibald Query.
糖果制造人
Confectionery.
Confectionery.
And back there is the confectionery, which will open this spring.
I've been at the confectionery ever since.
I need you tonight in the confectionery. Tonight is the gala opening of the confectionery.
We'll have tea and meat for the men, says he, and confectionery for the ladies.
甜食
Confederacy.
Confederacy.
And you would have done anything you could to save the Confederacy, including using your own son, John.
I stand here today in the cradle of the Confederacy to remind its people of our founding fathers' goals of duty.
Never ally itself with a Confederacy that had the institution of slavery.
The president of the Confederacy would discern his wife's needs and satisfy them.
You've crossed into territory for the Confederacy.
联盟
Confederate.
Confederate.
His great-grandpa was some sort of Confederate soldier who made his slaves fight with him in the Civil War.
So, no Confederate flag.
Thank you, my Confederate queen.
They seem to think I made off with the Confederate treasury.
You have a Confederate who signals you.
No.
同盟者同盟的联盟
Confederation.
Confederation.
Confederation of American Natives.
So, how do you pick someone worthy of your confederation?
The Confederation must forfeit the match.
The Confederation of Hospital Service Employees.
The International Confederation of Wizards.
同盟
Confer.
Confer.
Confer with your advisor now.
Just give me 1 minute to confer with my colleague.
Oh, writing doesn't confer importance.
Please, the court, I'd like to request a recess in order to confer with my client.
Confer, converse, and otherwise hobnob with my brother wizards.
授予协商
Conference.
Conference.
But I've been thinking, and I wanted to reassure you that I admired your behavior during this conference before our conversation yesterday, and I admire it now.
But the Potsdam Peace Conference in July will be President Truman's last chance to have that conversation.
General Shang, Commander-in-Chief of the People's Liberation Army, has announced in an emergency press conference that China is standing down.
I asked the prosecuting attorney if I might have a short conference with my client.
I've called this press conference for 2 reasons.
会议
Confess.
Confess.
Because if you do confess to the police, not only will your attorney be hearing from me, but so will your wife.
Confess all and swear allegiance to the king that he might show you mercy.
I confess, I must say, you are my star.
Okay, I confess I never told you this, but...
承认
Confession.
Confession.
Confess and love have been the very sum of my confession.
God, great. Talk to God, I'm not interested in your confession.
I have a confession to make.
I'm trying to get your confession tape, Lucas.
承认
Confessional.
Confessional.
I was afraid it was going to be some sort of confessional.
Is this a shock lottery or is it a confessional?
Keep it for your confessional.
So this is footage from your brother's confessional.
The young girl sat perfectly still in the confessional.
自白的告谢式
Confessor.
Confessor.
The plainsman is a doctor and a bloodhound and a cop and a judge and a jury and a father confessor all in one.
It's amazing how many demon souls you can suss from a little church confessor.
What's between me and my confessor?
What I'm saying is, I don't have to be your confessor, darling.
You are my confessor, my teacher.
供认者
Confetti.
Confetti.
Damn near killed by a mob of crackers throwing Irish confetti.
Magnetic fields surround the boundary, which is like using confetti to test a hurricane.
Some like confetti comes down.
You're passing out beer to all the kids in the neighborhood, throwing dollar bills around like confetti.
Using a confetti flag as a missile.
糖果
Confidant.
Confidant.
A close confidant stated, and this here's in quotations, "You couldn't tell that son of a bitch nothing."
I made a confidant of Captain Gleason in the War Department.
Here's Peter's friend. Is Peter's confidant?
Oh, just your friendly neighborhood confidant.
Who makes you his confidant?
心腹朋友
Confide.
Confide.
He doesn't exactly confide in me.
How could you be so stupid to confide your feelings to a stranger?
I mean, she always knew that she could confide in me about anything, and I would never judge her.
I wish I had someone to confide in.
You have no idea the lightness it brings to my heart being able to confide in you charming young people.
吐露信赖
Confidence.
Confidence.
It's not lack of confidence.
I am not going to repeat what a friend said to me in confidence.
So, for those of you who are feeling scared about being confident, it's actually a big part of confidence to be scared, and that's normal.
They want you to be there to bolster his confidence.
This is a real vote of confidence in your
信心
Confident.
Confident.
Attached to this flamboyantly confident voice and
Galaxy really starting to look confident.
That's our baby
well
girl.
Piece.
That's our baby girl.
It's all about hiding the crazy and acting like the most confident girl in the world.
You're acting not like your usual confident self.
有信心的
Confidential.
Confidential.
Dr. Jones, now, you must understand that this is all strictly confidential.
I'm the confidential assistant to Ken Bacon, but before that, I was here.
Remember that everything you say in here is confidential. This is my Italian confidential secretary.
We report to Ben Bradley Jr., and we keep our work confidential.
机密的
Confidentiality.
Confidentiality.
I don't believe you can maintain corporate integrity without confidentiality agreements. Signed a confidentiality agreement.
I think if people are forced to sign confidentiality agreements before they committed to a diet,
Is that a confidentiality waiver?
The victim has to sign a confidentiality agreement to get the settlement.
保密性
Configuration.
Configuration.
Really elegant string of pearls configuration.
Different configuration than the other victims.
Litmus configuration. Yes. Really elegant string of pearls configuration.
Wing, cruise configuration, full impulse power.
结构
Confine.
Confine.
Confine him to his quarters.
Just if you'll confine yourself to the main building.
White people read your book and confine us to it. They think
you will confine yourself, it is our understanding, to the chapters in Mr. Thatcher's manuscript regarding Mr. Kane.
You will rejoin the table and you confine yourself to the following 3 phrases.
限制临街边缘
Confinement.
Confinement.
And after that, I'm going to file against pretrial confinement.
I should remind you have a curfew and confinement restrictions. I was in solitary confinement.
I've submitted to the court the conditions under which I believe the order of confinement may be rescinded. Over the course of her confinement, I've come to the conclusion, with a reasonable degree of medical certainty, that Emily Taylor is...
限制
Confirm.
Confirm.
At least do an MRI to confirm.
Confirm what?
I will go confirm all of us.
I'm pulling up the document so we can confirm our interview context for your cover story.
This woman just called to confirm her order for 1,000 cupcakes for tomorrow.
证实
Confirmation.
Confirmation. And vocal confirmation from both the security system within the Bellagio.
Confirmation DNA?
I've got the confirmation.
The confirmation starts in an hour.
We're looking for confirmation.
证实
Confiscate.
Confiscate.
Are slaves, hence property, hence my war powers allow me to confiscate them as such, so I confiscate them.
Hey, if you find any drugs, you guys get to confiscate.
I'm regrettably obliged to move you on and to confiscate your earnings.
If you get his address and you confiscate his phone, great.
Our aim will be to confiscate the liquor and the cash.
没收被没收的
Confiscation.
Confiscation.
And it's 2 steps away from confiscation.
And the confiscation of their ships as they put into port.
Captain, I'm here for a confiscation, and some of these people, they're trying to turn it into some kind of a situation.
I could seize your home through legal confiscation.
Keep hammering the point that we are not arguing for confiscation.
没收
Conflagration.
Conflagration.
And the plague of slavery that brought this conflagration down upon us vanish forever from the earth.
And you're left with an artistically pleasing conflagration of hair that humans go nuts for.
Really?
He is about to extinguish his conflagration in a sea of blood.
Of course, you didn't ask to be at the center of this historic conflagration any more than I did, but we find ourselves here nonetheless.
The conflagration you described does not blaze enough.
大火灾
Conflict.
Conflict.
He was worried they might see it as a conflict.
How would you have this conflict resolved?
Me, I won't knowingly deal in conflict acts.
So that was a source of conflict.
The reason he's worried is not because of a conflict.
战斗争执
Confluence.
Confluence.
A particular confluence of forces which allows a doorway to be opened through which we may pass.
It is, I believe, a confluence of circumstances I regard as almost fate-like.
Probably has something to do with the happy confluence of my caustic sense of humor and the inability of your various stepfathers.
Surely the odd confluence of events hasn't escaped you, Clarice.
Well, on Earth, for centuries, people haven't made love unless their psychocardiogram readings were in perfect confluence.
河流
Conform.
Conform.
I just didn't think you would conform so fast, but...
It was about man's animal nature and his struggle to control it, to conform.
Look at what we have done to the man who refused to conform his ideals to popular taste, who refused to compromise his integrity. You can conform.
You'll conform to our ideas of how you should behave.
使一致一致
Conformist.
Conformist.
An escapist from a conformist world destined to find happiness only in that which cannot be explained.
It's like a big screw you to all them conformist assholes.
Singing a song, anyone can do that, or I don't have to do that. I'm an individual, not a conformist, or this is silly. It doesn't change the world to sing a song.
You're a conformist.
You're such a conformist.
尊奉习俗
Conformity.
Conformity.
All that Stephen Shorter has just done has been to express the wish to become an individual. But that, in an age of conformity...
Conformity is how they gain their sense of purpose.
Dangers of conformity. I brought them up here to illustrate the point of conformity.
It was just a symbol of my conformity to the man.
遵照
Confound.
Confound.
And you will confound those who had not expected you to return, Sir.
Confound it, Raja! Confound this fog. Demon confound it. Well, confound it, what are you all gobbling at?
使混淆
Confront.
Confront.
And as Barton men, we learned to confront.
But when I went to confront him,
Jeff is definitely cheating on me, but I'm not going to confront him.
Miss Norbury had us confront each other directly about the things that were bothering us.
使面对
Confrontation.
Confrontation.
And then I knew that there would be a confrontation over getting physical.
11 Wakandans were among those killed during a confrontation between the Avengers and a group of mercenaries in Lagos, Nigeria last month.
Ever since, well, you know, you've been avoiding confrontation.
Hackett is clearly forcing a confrontation.
We always like to avoid confrontation whenever possible.
对抗
Confuse.
Confuse. I confuse melancholy with depression sometimes.
I don't confuse the word of God with actions of man.
Let's not confuse things.
Confuse me more.
Why would anyone possibly confuse you with me?
使混乱
Confused.
Confused.
Because, I don't know, I feel really confused and...
I think you're as confused as some other people.
I'm a little confused.
Nadine still seems confused about her date of birth.
Once again, Michael left Donna in bed, confused and unsatisfied.
困惑的